What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the In the Spotlight podcast. It's Monday, March 30th, and it is day 8 of self-isolation. Let's get into the news for today. Today, there were 351 new cases of COVID-19 in Ontario, making this the most cases in a single day since the pandemic began, and there are 7,465 cases in Canada. Today, Justin Trudeau announced the Canada Emergency Wage Subsidy that allows businesses, nonprofit organizations, and charities to be eligible for a 75% subsidy on wages for employees amongst the COVID-19 pandemic. Justin Trudeau explains.
We know what businesses are going through. Over the past weeks, you've had to get creative to keep money coming in. And in some cases, you've had to make the difficult decision of letting your employees go. For people to get through this tough time and for the economy to rebound, people have to keep their jobs. So we announced the Canada Emergency Wage Subsidy. So here's what this means for workers. If you work for a company that has been impacted by COVID-19, the government will cover up to 75% of your salary on the first $58,700 that you earn. That means up to $847 a week.
Today, Premier of Ontario Doug Ford announced that he visited medical warehouses this weekend. He reassured Canadians that they are working their hardest to find medical supplies and have purchased orders, but it'll take time for it to get here. Doug Ford stresses that the medical supplies in the next 2 weeks could lessen. Doug Ford explains.
We've been working with the federal government on their bulk buys of essential items. We have purchase orders and we have businesses lining up, retooling their operations and expediting production to help Ontario defend against COVID-19. But it will take time for local production to ramp up and new supplies to reach us. The reality is, if there's a massive surge of people coming into our hospitals in the next 2 weeks, our supply lines will be seriously challenged. So every week, every day, every hour we can push back that surge is another week, another day, another hour that we have to prepare. The hard truth is, the more time we have, the more lives we can save.
And that was the news for today. So today I still wasn't feeling my best. Once again, I did rest most of the day, but I worked on scripting for the podcast and I watched The Voice with my family. And it was part 2 of the battle round. So let's get into the highlight of my day. It was definitely watching The Voice with my family. Our favorite performance was at the end, where 2 people out of John Legend's team sang the classic song Come Together by the Beatles, and the performance was so good. They even had a live band in the back, so it's not just the instrumental, it was the whole atmosphere that was amazing of that live band. And I also watched some late night shows today. So the hosts of late night TV are obviously taping their shows from their homes. So I watched Late Night with Seth Meyers today and I couldn't stop laughing at one of the segments he does. Seth Meyers does this segment called A Closer Look, and it highlights the politics of the day and what's been going on in the world for the last week. And it's so good because he mixes both his politics and his humor together, and it's amazing. And I really like that this time around that they're doing these shows from home, that the Closer Look segments are slightly longer. So that was the highlight of my day. And that brings us to the end of day 8 of this podcast. This has been In the Spotlight. Stay safe, and I'm Samayar Khan, and I'm signing off.